Hey, what's up? And I'm back once again with some comic reviews for this week. I'm not going to dilly-dally around too much with speaking. I'm going to get right down to the reviews, but before I do that, I will say that I will have a video shortly following this with my review of Superman vs. the Elite, which came out earlier this week. So I got some things to say about it, and that's pretty much all of my gabbling. But you came here for comic reviews, so let's go ahead and get to that. Let's start things off with a new addition to my pull list. Actually picked up the series with issues 26 and 27 for a two-parter story, and now I'm taking a chance with a new miniseries from American Vampire. This is issue 1 of a 5-part miniseries titled Lord of Nightmares. I'm going to be honest, I am not entirely familiar with this. As I said, I just recently picked this up, so I'm not entirely familiar with all of the characters who are present in here, because I know some of them kind of reoccur throughout the series thus far. But basically what we got going on in this issue is that we are in London, and we're introduced to Agent Hobbs, who I believe worked for MI6 possibly. He meets up with an American tourist, or at least one who claims to be, discussing some things, and while that's happening, we actually come to find out that there is an attack which takes place upon the London Bridge, thanks to a submarine which happened to work itself up. I guess that's the English Channel working its way up in there. Forgive me, because I'm not really familiar with a lot of the geography of England. But there's an attack that takes place in a great heist which ensues from a secret compartment inside of the London Bridge. And basically what this issue 10 amounts to is that we are actually going to be introduced to this tale's version of a certain Carpathian vampire who is famous throughout all of literature. This is a good issue. Now, of course, this is the first issue of this miniseries, but it sets up pretty well. Dustin Nguyen does the art, does a spectacular job in here, doing some character designs. I know that I've seen his artwork somewhere before. This is Agent Hobbs, and this is the smarmy American who he's meeting with in the glasses there. And once Hobbs finds out that the theft took place, we actually go and get introduced to a female agent who is actually needed to help take down, or actually brought in to help stop this organization called the Vassals of the Morning Star from whatever diabolical plans that they have with this particular vampire. This is a good issue to start out this series with, and also a very bitchin' cover, I might add. So I'm going to stick with this series and kind of see where it rolls from here. I've heard a lot of good things about this. I know Manos was reviewing this on his channel, and he kind of dropped off from doing it at some point. Don't know if he started disliking it or not. But I'm impressed with what I've read so far, and I think I will stick with the series. So give this a shot. And if anybody else has read it, tell me what y'all think of it. Next up, let's go over to Batman, also by Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo's artwork. This is issue number 10. Batman takes the battle now to the Court of Owls itself after dealing with the Talons for that little 2-issue crossover we had going through a lot of the other Batman family titles. And this is a really good issue. It's also a very putting the Batman mythos once again on its head type of issue with the reveal that we get in here. Basically what happens with this is that, you know, Batman's barely had time to recover from the attack by the Talons, and Alfred's trying to get him to rest or do something, but Bruce is not satisfied with simply sitting and waiting. He's going to take the fight to these sons of bitches now. And he actually goes to visit an elderly woman who is actually one of the members of this group. But after he visits with her and tells her that he's going to bring down the organization, he gets there and come to find out these guys are sitting down to dinner and they're dead. Basically, we have a cop-out, which was kind of what I got with reading Wolverine's Revenge last year after Wolverine went after the Red Hand. But actually come to find out this seems to be a distraction. And Bruce kind of figured something out, and it has to do with someone that he encountered and who was also on this hit list. And when we go to Batman trying to figure out where this guy had gone to, we actually get a very starking revelation, which is revealed once he confronts this particular man who happened to run out on his own organization. It's kind of striking out for his own power, and we're getting set up for a big fight at the end of this issue. Now, the reveal at the end of this issue, I'm going to go ahead and spoil this a little bit. Apparently, Bruce meets his brother in this issue. Looks just like him and everything, and he's getting ready to put on an owl costume, and he and his brother are just going to have a free-for-all next issue. I was kind of wondering where they were going with this, because the first reaction I had to it with him introducing himself as Thomas Wayne Jr., I was thinking possibly someone introducing the New 52 version of Hush in this issue. Considering from the last continuity that Thomas Elliot actually had the name of Thomas, and he had plastic surgery to make himself look like Bruce Wayne. But the brother angle, this might not be the Hush thing. They might be going for something different, because after a little research, come to find out that there was a Thomas Wayne Jr. in the comics from long ago. So Snyder is trying to pull a little bit more of a Morrison style into his run, which is kind of cool. I'm getting some further education about Batman that I did not know. And as usual, he continues to churn out a good series with this. It's stellar, it's been top-notch, and I look forward to the conclusion of dealing with the Owls, or at least maybe this will be the end of the conclusion, dealing with the Court of Owls. But Snyder's run has definitely been terrific thus far with this New 52 Batman series. And as usual, I would say pick it up. It's terrific. Moving along to Marvel now. Let's get ourselves excited for some X-Men with X-Men Legacy number 268 is my pick of the week for Mr. Christos Gage. This is once again an AVX tie-in, but we acknowledge that some stuff is going on, especially after the big reveal from issue 5 of AVX last week. But this is not the new Phoenix host is not, or hosts I should say, are not the focal point of this issue. Instead, it's Frenzy that we get to focus on in this issue. This is really, really good stuff. The majority of this issue is her running off to somewhere in Africa to help with some people who are dealing with some local warlords. I can't remember the name of the country which we were dealing with in this issue. I can't find it right now, and I'm not going to worry myself with it. But basically, Frenzy is taking the fight to helping some people in Africa. And she comes across this woman who's being viciously beaten by her husband. And apparently this triggers some flashbacks from her about some childhood traumas that she suffered, and just an awful beating that she took at the hands of her father in this issue. So this is both helping out some people as well as confronting some past demons. This is a very, very well done issue. Again, it's not entirely an AVX tie-in, but Christos Gage does a good job at managing to keep the focus on our main characters of this series and not have it be uselessly tied in much too long to the main event at hand. So my props to you, sir, on an issue well done. And I continue to look forward for great things in here as well. Next up, let's get off to a series which too many of my friends are not reading as of late. I think Ziploc Gory is reading this, although I'm not sure. But I still continue to be fascinated by Rick Remender on Uncanny X-Force, and this issue seems to be the start of a return to form that I haven't seen since the Dark Angel saga. We have a new artist on this issue, actually been there since last issue. His name is Phil Noto. Man is no Jerome Opena, but he does have his own style which he brings to the series, and damn, is this good. Basically what we have happening in here is that this is part 2 of Nightcrawler, Wolverine, and Deadpool confronting the Omega Clan, the life model decoys which were whipped up by an unknown client who seems to have it out for X-Force. We get reintroduced to Weapon 3, Phantom X's old rival from the Weapon X program, and there's a lot of focal point and enough of it for each member of the X-Force to get their own spotlight in this issue. We deal with the further drama of the on-again, off-again relationship in between Jean-Paul and Betsy Braddock, Psylocke. It's continuing to unfold, and at the same time, Deadpool is off playing around with the computers trying to get a bit of help built for Wolverine and Nightcrawler, who are pretty much getting their asses handed to them by the Omega Clan. Especially Wolverine here, like, Nightcrawler is getting de-aged, Wolverine is getting bloated with some type of a disease, and watching him roly-poly throughout this issue is pretty damn funny. And especially what he does to get himself out of this nasty situation and be able to fight back is fucking disgusting. It's gross. Usually I would be complaining about this stuff in the comics, but with Rick Remender and the good art that, you know, once again captures the serious tone of what this series should be, he's doing a good job with it. A vast improvement over Greg Titini on the artwork from the Otherworld story. Deadpool is written in here very well. Psylocke is going through a major mindfuck right now from an unknown person, and we have the addition of an old X-Men villain who shows up in here as well, taking place. This is really good stuff. Don't know who it is, who is the mastermind around here, because they're kind of playing with it, but it's being very well done, I must say. I rave about this book all the time, and now that we're back to form with capturing a good story and good drama for all the characters in here, Rick Remender, my hat is off to you, sir. You continue to do excellent with this series. So I know you're leaving Venom. Hopefully you will not be leaving this series anytime soon and continue to give us good stories with it. So enjoyed the hell out of that one. Finally, we get to the other edition of my comics for this week. Going to go with Jason Aaron on The Incredible Hulk number 9. I started reading the first couple of issues of this series back in December and January, and I just kind of dropped off because I never really got back into it. But now, apparently, Bruce and the Hulk are back together. I did read issue 8, which had him dealing with the Punisher, and he's actually, since Bruce Banner's mind has been reinserted back into the Hulk's body, Bruce is completely unhinged. He's a fucking sociopath now, and the Hulk is doing everything he can to stay angry and keep Bruce from coming out. Normally it was the other way around that this worked, but Jason Aaron is doing good with this stuff, man. I'm going to have to go back and get them other back issues before issue 8 to get caught back up with how Bruce's brain got into the Hulk body, but man, this is good. The majority of this issue goes with him confronting a bunch of mer people in sort of a redneck version of Atlantis. And actually, the artist on this issue, who is Pasquale Ferry, is much better than the dude who was drawing for last issue. I wasn't really crazy about that art style. But some crazy mayhem ensues in this issue. Last issue was crazy enough in itself. This one gets crazier, especially with some more surgery done to the Hulk's body, and what this is going to mean, I have no idea, but it's going to be some trouble, and especially with the cliffhanger leaving off on where the Hulk will go after this has been pretty well done. All in all, I've been satisfied with this issue, and I think I will be sticking with this series. I've been kind of redundant on what I've said with the comics, but hey, when stuff is good and I like it, I can't complain about it all that much. So, do yourselves a favor and pick this up. I'm pretty sure the Mount Vernon kid is still reading this. I think I'm back on board with this series now. So, do yourselves a favor and check this out, and hopefully you guys will check out some of the comics I recommend, and until next time, I will catch you guys on the flip side.